Hey guys, so today's video is slightly different. This is not my usual content. So if this is the first video you're seeing, don't expect too much of this. I focus on makeup and beauty and all things like that. But still, if you're somewhat interested in makeup but you accidentally came to this video, then subscribe, hit that bell, like and comment for engagement so more people can see this video and be confused as to what direction my channel is going in. Also, here's my Instagram, my TikTok, where I do drama recaps, and then my drama channel will be in description as well. So let's get into it. I'm testing out Emma Chamberlain's coffee. So yeah, I love makeup, right? And then my second love in life is coffee. I drink it way too much to the point where I don't even think it's healthy anymore, but like it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna go through some of the basics before we get into actually like reviewing the thing. So I got the bundle with 5 of their regular flavors plus coffee bags and a travel mug, but I'm not going to talk about the travel mug or the coffee bags because the coffee bags are mainly for a cold brew that's going to turn into like an iced latte, but I don't drink iced lattes in the wintertime and it's very cold in the UK right now, so I'll leave those for another time. So the coffee bags, okay, I usually drink this coffee. This is the one we get, and we get it in a bundle, usually from Costco, or Amazon sells like huge quantities of it, like I think 6 kilograms or something. Hear me out, we drink a lot of coffee in this house, okay? Everyone in this house drinks coffee. We get through a kilogram of bag in not very long. So our one is, I calculated it, and I will be putting everything on screen in Great British pounds and kilograms. If you need to know like pounds, LBS, and US dollars or Australian dollars or anything else that you need to know, you're going to need to do that conversion yourself because I can't possibly convert to every single currency that's probably watching my video. So GBP and kg, you can figure out the rest, guys. So my one is 9 Great British pounds per kilogram, and then I got the Emma Chamberlain one, which ended up being, because I got the 5 bags, the 5 bags were for £67 and 3 pence, which actually ended up being about £40 per kilogram. So 40 Great British pounds per kilogram, which is essentially more than 4 times as much as I pay for my coffee. So from the get-go, I'm like, this coffee is not going to be better than, well, this coffee's not going to be 4 times better than my usual coffee. So I came into this just having my standards pretty low, just like this isn't going to beat my regular coffee by 4 times, but it might still be good. Okay, shipping was £18.62. I didn't pay any customs, which means the website, well no, which means the brand, aka Emma Chamberlain, covers the customs for you, which I highly appreciate because it actually shortens the shipping time. By the time it gets to the UK, if the company has paid the duties and taxes for you, it just goes straight to your house. If they haven't, it stays at the post office. They then have to send you out a notice for you to pay the customs. You then have to pay the customs, pick a date that you want it to be delivered, and then it gets delivered. So it extends the time for no damn reason. So I love when brands cover the duties for you, at least add them into the shipping because it speeds up the process a lot, and the shipping was actually really quick. For £18, I'm glad that it was actually quick because I didn't regret paying shipping. Not that I had a choice, but like it didn't upset me or anything like that. The like travel mug was £18.62 and the steeped bags were £14.90. So that's where we're at. So it's certified fair trade, organic, roasted in LA. It's cute. It's aesthetic. Look at this, look at this. It's very Emma Chamberlain. Like, I was happy to use the coffee. Like, I liked putting it on Instagram and I liked doing that whole thing. So, you know, the coffee bag's definitely in the summer, but there's such a cute idea. I love this. Not many brands do it. I know there are some that did it before Emma, but it's just such a cute idea in my opinion. Like, I think it's just so fun. It's so much more fun than doing like a regular iced coffee. I don't know. I'm excited to use it once the sunlight emerges in the UK. So the way I do my warm coffee, I know Americans, you guys mainly focus on cold brews, which is perfectly fine, but a lot of European countries base their coffees on espressos. Espressos, if you don't know, are very concentrated coffees in very small amounts. You can either just take a shot of espresso, very bitter, my dad does that. It's concerning behavior if you ask me. And then what I do is I make a latte. So if you go and ask for a latte in a coffee shop, they'll usually do, for a small, they'll do 1 espresso shot with just the rest milk, and then for a large latte you do 2 coffee shots and then milk. And then if you're making it cold, obviously it's just milk. And if you're making it hot, a latte will have foam on top. Cappuccino will have more foam, less milk. And then there is also a flat white. But who drinks a flat white? Please tell me, do you drink a flat white? Because I think that's such a weird coffee. Not that I'm calling you weird for drinking a flat white, but I just think it's a really strange coffee. I never really understand it, and I worked as a barista, and I'm like, I actually have no clue what a flat white is. To this day, I'm like, people ask me for a flat white, and I made it, and I was like, I have no clue what I just made you, but I made you something. So I appreciate it. I did work as a barista. This is actually just fun for me. It was free coffee all day. It was great. So I have 5 flavors: original, night owl, careless cat, early bird, and social dog. Hear me out, I'm filming this for the second time because the first time I filmed it, I hated it. We got to editing and I was like, I hate it so much. Phoebe was in the room, she was making a lot of noise and I kept on like shushing her, and then I would like lose the plot, and I'm filming this again and it's so much smoother this time. I remember back then I had like 30 minutes of footage and maybe 5 minutes of it was workable, so this is good. I started out with the original, and I've reviewed all of these, right? I started out with original and I went through them. And in the video I said, oh, I'm sure I reviewed Night Owl already, and I didn't. So here's me reviewing Night Owl, and then we'll get into my pre-filmed reviews of all the coffees. So Night Owl was a 3.5, well no, the Night Owl was a 3 out of 5 strength. The beans were darker and shinier than my usual beans. And if you don't know, like, you can get grinded up beans or you can get ungrinded beans. My coffee machine grinds the beans for you, so I like to get them ungrinded, and then you can set how much you want your coffee machine to grind them for you. It's a very technical process making coffee in my household. It's very technical. The coffee beans were darker and more shiny, which means they were probably burnt a little bit more than my usual beans, and actually that makes them grind a little bit harder. So as in, it's like harder to grind them, so the coffee machine makes more of a noise when it grinds them up, and that usually means they're a little bit stronger. Than, like, the lighter the bean, the less strong it is. The darker the bean, the more it's been roasted, and usually the more bitter the flavor. That's where kind of the bitterness comes from, which is why Starbucks espressos are so bitter. It's because when you buy the bags of coffee, the ungrinded beans, they're usually like pretty much black. Like, they are so burnt, and every Starbucks employee will tell you that coffee is burnt to shreds. Burnt. Which is why I hate it so much. I'm just like, no, not great. And then the lighter the beans, the less it's been roasted and the less of the bitter taste, but also usually it means it's not as strong. I don't know how I know all of this. I am a connoisseur. So the beans were darker and shinier than my usual. It had a slight burnt bitter flavor, but it's like Starbucks, just without the cigarette butt taste. If you've ever had really burnt coffee, it tastes like cigarette butts. Like what you imagine if you picked up a cigarette butt and ate it, that's the flavor. It was overall really nice. It tasted like Starbucks, but heaps better. It tasted just chef's kiss, beautiful. So let's get into the pre-filmed reviews now that I've covered the Night Owl and my initial introduction. So I'm back the next day. This isn't my first cup of Emma Chamberlain coffee. This is actually my second cup. I had one like as I was taking Phoebe out to pee outside, and I was like, I don't think this is what we need to film. Me not in the best mood because I just woke up at 8 AM, going outside with Phoebe, watching her try to pee, and then me holding a mug. Like, I don't think that would have been the best option, but I'm glad I got like the first impression on my own, and then I could like sit on it and like feel the vibes. And then now I'm back. So I actually have a Starbucks mug, and it says what size it is. This is actually the largest latte you can get, so like 2 espresso shots with just milk. That's about what would fit into those like tall paper cups in Starbucks, so you can judge the size. But there's 2 espresso shots in here, milk, and then foam on top, because my coffee machine does like the foaming thing. I mentioned this already. Anyway, what do I think about the coffee? So this is the original one. It's supposed to be 4 out of 5 strength, and I would agree. It's in between the one we normally drink and Starbucks. I think Starbucks is very strong. It has a very burnt almost taste to it, and if you buy the coffee beans, you can see they're very, very dark. Like, the coffee we have is kind of like in between milk and dark chocolate, kind of a color. And then Starbucks coffee is like, coffee beans are pretty much black. Like, they're so burnt, and you can taste it. It's not my favorite coffee. Starbucks is definitely not my favorite coffee. It just tastes sour and bitter. But this is like the strength of a Starbucks coffee without the bitterness and without the sour aftertaste that you get. This is really good. It's stronger than my usual coffee, but I actually really, really like that. It didn't make me feel shaky or anything, even though I feel like it did give me a little bit more energy. I felt a little bit more snappy and motivated. Like I said, it's not bitter, but it's also not cheap tasting, which I was so scared, because I'm like, if I'm paying that amount of money for coffee, I don't want it to have that like artificial weird coffee flavor that you get, like cheap coffee flavor. And it's not only cheap coffee that has a cheap coffee flavor. I feel like you can buy expensive coffee and it'll have a cheap coffee taste. I feel like if you drink a lot of coffee, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a weird flavor that you get. You're like, oh, this isn't good quality. McDonald's. Not, it tastes like not something you want to taste, is what I'm saying. And actually, my coffee is quite affordable in the grand scheme of things. £9 per kilogram of coffee beans is a lot of beans for not much money. So like, you could say that my coffee is cheap, but it doesn't have a cheap coffee flavor. And this doesn't either, but it costs 4.5 times as much as my coffee, so I'm glad it doesn't taste cheap. And yeah, it's got no other flavors. It's literally just plain coffee. It just tastes like original, plain. If this is what, if you just enjoy a standard coffee, this is it. This is what that coffee tastes like. Getting a second flavor now from the morning. It's just really nice. I like it. It tastes like a better Starbucks. Like Starbucks, but actually good. Like what Starbucks wants to be. Emma Chamberlain coffee is what Starbucks wants to be. My dad would disagree. He loves Starbucks coffee because he just likes everything bitter and strong, and he drinks espressos. It's questionable. Honestly, it's questionable behavior. There is one stronger than this. It's supposed to be a 5 out of 5. I have it downstairs. I don't know why I'm pointing up when it's down. And then I have some weaker than this. I feel like this is like a good base to start on. I'll see you guys on my next coffee, which we're gonna get like probably a few days of use from that one bag, and then we'll be on to the second one, and then I'll let you know which one I'm trying out. So I did 2 updates on the original coffee flavors and the night owl from what I remember. I hope I got that right. And I didn't do any like regular check-ins after that because I usually drink my first cup of coffee in the morning when I'm being very moody. And then I just didn't have time throughout the day to do those updates. So I just took notes whenever I tried the coffee, and then I just wanted to film it all in one go. I tried the Careless Cat, which was a 2.5 out of 5 strength, and it was the closest in flavor to our regular coffee. So that was like the one that, as much as it tasted the most like our coffee, it was I guess the least worth it for me because it tasted like my coffee. It was much more expensive, but it tasted the same. So that was the one where I was like, it's really nice, but I can get this flavor for less. So I'd actually pick the other ones over this one, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. It was really nice. It had like a really nice creamy flavor. It was really, really good. It was maybe a smidge better than our regular coffee, but not enough to like pay basically double the price. Then we had the Early Bird, which was a 5 out of 5. It was the closest to Starbucks, but still very good. Like it did not taste like cigarette butts. It was really good. You can tell I don't like Starbucks coffee. It's just not my favorite. I prefer Costa and all the other ones. But this one was the closest to Starbucks in strength, without the really bad flavor. I actually really enjoyed it. So it was a really good coffee. And then Social Dog was a 4 out of 5. It was quite strong. It had like a sharp flavor, like a taste, a slight cigarette butt, but nothing crazy. It was really good. It was a really nice one, and it was heaps above Starbucks. It's basically what Starbucks wants to be, is Emma Chamberlain. In conclusion, I think the aesthetic is nice. I think the packaging is super pretty. The shipping was super quick. Like as much as I had to pay for the shipping, it was worth it for me because it came so quickly. The shipping's good. The packaging's really nice. I like how sustainable and ethical the whole brand is. I think it's just really nice. If you like Emma Chamberlain, you're gonna like the coffee because it's, well, one, you're getting it because it's kind of like a merch thing, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the coffee. Like it's one of those merch products where you're buying it because you're a fan of someone, but the actual product itself is a quality product. Like I said, the packaging is really nice to like post on Instagram. It's just like a really, really cute thing. The flavors, there was not a single dud, not a single bad one that I could pinpoint for you guys. If I'd say my favorite would probably be maybe the Night Owl. The Careless Cat was quite nice. Original. I'd say maybe my least favorite was Social Dog, only because it had that sharpness to it that was like verging on too much for me. But it was still very nice. And Early Bird was super strong, but it was still very nice. Like maybe I wouldn't pick it as my like top priority, but it was, if I had it, it would be really nice for me. Like I don't mind it. I still haven't tried the steeped bags, only because it's not summertime. Once it starts getting warm outside, I'll do an iced coffee update and maybe just throw it into a different video. But the steeped bags look really fun to me. I think it's a really fun idea. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this little project that I had because I really do like coffee. And I just think as a whole, this brand was not disappointing at all. It's not going to become my regular coffee brand. One, ordering from America itself, as much as the shipping was quick, it's something I have to like plan ahead of time, whereas this I can get anytime in my local store. The coffee that I drink now, it's really expensive. It's like a really expensive coffee that I think I'd get as like a specialty every now and then, but it's not something that I would commit to every single month because I just drink too much coffee. Like we as a household drink too much coffee to spend that much money. With how much money I spent, we used that, all 5 of those bags in maybe 2 weeks if I'm being generous, like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So like to spend about £100 every 2 weeks, yeah, I'll just stick with my regular coffee that I get a lot more of for a lot less. But I'm not disappointed in this at all. Like I don't think the prices can go down. Like she priced it that way for a reason. I think my price gets upped because of the shipping, so that's the only thing that's stopping me as well. As a whole, I think it's really nice. I personally don't want to spend £100 every 2 weeks for coffee. Like, it's just my personal thing, but I actually really enjoyed this whole process. I think it was really fun. So yeah, if you guys want to try Chamberlain coffee, let me know how that goes for you guys. I think it's really nice. It's just very expensive, so I can see how that's like a specialty product rather than like very mainstream merch like everyone else that has like hoodies and stuff. I don't think this is that kind of merch. I think it's very much like a special niche audience for her. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time I think of something to do. So hit that bell, be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any other links in description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.